Hi everyone, greetings from Meydan ahead of the second carnival meeting. We've got a brilliant night of action in store on Friday. I'm so looking forward to, in particular, the two feature races on the card. These are the Group 2 Al Rashidiya and the Fahidi Fort. And the Al Rashidiya sees the return of the star of last year's carnival is, of course, Lord Glitters. He's had an identical prep. He comes here from Bahrain, although he's been back to the UK in between. This year he did actually manage to win the Bahrain International. That was a fantastic success back in November. I've seen him in the mornings. He looks absolutely great, and I think there will be enough pace in this race for him. He's 2 from 5 here. He loves this 1800 meters, and hopefully one of the Godolphin horses will kick on a little bit and set it up for him. Godolphin do have a strong hand in here, as you'd expect. I'm a little bit surprised perhaps that William Buick has opted to ride Art de Val. He's a horse who's on his third carnival. He's always been spoken about in kind of glowing terms by the Charlie Appleby team, but it's been a while since he's actually managed to win. So he's certainly an interesting one in there for the Godolphin team, who also have Royal Fleet, who's 4 from 5. James Doyle takes the ride on him. He presumably could have ridden Highland Avenue. Goes to this Royal Fleet, who takes a big step up in grade. He's been winning handicaps, and he's a horse who could be very keen early on in his races as well. But he's another one to consider. Plus there's Erasmo, who's a cast-off from Godolphin. He's now with Simon Crisford. Kept some very good form when trained by Andre Fabre in France. I think he's another one to watch out for there. The Fahidi Fort is a race I love. It's actually taking place a lot earlier in the carnival than has been the case in the past, and I'm pretty sure this one will go to Charlie Appleby. Naval Crown, 1 from 2 rounds here. His only defeat here came on the dirt. Of course, he went back to England and ran some really good races, including finishing second in the Jersey. He takes a drop down from Group 1 company, and I think he's going to take an awful lot of beating in that Fahidi Fort, which does look at a very strong race once again. Others to mention, Labarossa at least has the race fitness under his belt. He was beaten in a weaker race than this last time. He takes a drop down in trip. That might help him. He's drawn out wide though, but I think he could well help Charlie Appleby to perhaps a 1-2 in that Fahidi Fort. I'll go back to the start of the card, and we've got a couple of interesting races for the 3-year-olds on turf, starting with a new race, the Dubai Trophy. This looks really, really open. Albion Square is a newcomer to the Mike de Kock team. I think looks interesting. He brings with him some good form from Ireland when he was trained by Jessica Harrington. We also have a new one for Ahmed bin Harmash, a horse who was trained by Fabrice Chappé over in France. She's a filly, hot pink. I think she's got some nice form. And then there's J Jumbo, who's become a bit of a social media star. We've seen a lot of him in the mornings. He's a maiden, but actually his last run over this trip was probably his best, and the team behind him, Darren Bunyan and his wife Gillian, who rides the horse, are confident that this guy is absolutely flying. So I think we can expect a good run from J Jumbo. The Jumeirah Derby trial is over 1800 metres. This is another new race, and again it looks reasonably open, but it could well go to Saeed bin Saror, who's got Island Falcon in here. He won the Meydan. The Adiyar, of course, the Derby winner, won the year before at Nottingham. He wasn't quite as impressive as him, but he won it in the manner of a horse who's still progressing. The step up in trip, I think, will really suit him. Another one just to mention in there quickly is KO Shark, who goes to trainer Rafael Freo. Had his first runner here last week, who ran really well. Hotline Bling was 4th, and this horse used to be trained by Michael Bell. He's got bits and pieces of nice form. I think he could be another one who might run well there at a price. I'm really excited about the UAE 2000 Guineas trial. It's often a bit of a one-dimensional race. Not the case this time. It looks a bit like Uruguay versus Godolphin. And I think that Quality Boone, who won here relatively quickly after arriving after a long layoff, that was a good victory back in December in a pretty good time. A couple of winners have come out of that race since. I think he can go in again for the Antonio Sintra team. I'm quite confident about his chances, though he does have a country mate to beat. Kiefer is 2 from 2 at Maronas, and I think he might just be one who we're still learning about. He's been impressive so far in his 2 victories, but Quality Boone at least has been here and done it before, so he's the one I like in that one. Although, of course, the one who's going to attract all the attention is Charlie Appleby's Albahar, last seen in Grade 1 company when he didn't run. That was in the Breeders' Cup, and he was a non-runner at the start. Before that, he won the Natalma in Canada. He has to take to this dirt for the first time, though. He's by Dubai. I'm sure he will like it, but he doesn't have the experience of the others, so I'm going to overlook him in favour of the Uruguayan horse here, Quality Boone. The Dubai Stakes, also on the dirt over the 1200 metres, just looks so difficult. I can't quite decide which of the Doug Watson ones to go for. Canvas, of course, looked very good last year. He won a Group 3 here on Super Saturday, the Mahab Al Shamal. But he is coming here off the best part of a year's break. He hasn't run since March, whereas his stablemate Tariq did win. It was a tough victory, a hard-fought victory at Jebel Ali back in November. He's been a non-runner since then, which is a minor concern, but I quite like the fact that he has had the prep. So maybe Tariq for me in that one. But there is also a interesting new shooter into the UAE mix in Freedom Fighter, coming from America, and has got Group 2 form behind a good horse called Concert Tour. When he was trained over there, he's now with Bupat Seemar. He could be anything at this stage. If he's acclimatised, he could be a real danger to the established UAE sprinters. Then we have the last race on the card. It doesn't get any easier. This is officially one of the least interesting on paper, in that it's just a 2,000 metre dirt rated conditions event, but it's brilliant. We've got Rebels Romance in here, returning after winning the UAE Derby last year. He then went to America, was supposed to run in the Belmont, scratched due to, I think it was an infection, and they brought him pretty quickly to the UAE. I think he arrived here in around about October. He was one of the early ones to bring here, and Charlie Appleby said we're working back probably from the Saudi Cup, because he went over for the Saudi Derby last year. That's only 5 weeks away. If he's going to run well there, he's got to be pretty tight here. So even though it's a very, very deep race, I quite like him in this one, Rebels Romance. He'll probably be the favourite. A couple of other ones to mention. Desert Peace has done nothing but progress for Charlie Appleby here. Okay, in slightly lower grade races, but he's interesting as well, the second string, and he only just beat Big Team last time for Saeed bin Saror, so it looks like Godolphin could well end the night with a winner on the dirt. It is such a competitive night of racing. Make sure you watch it from wherever you are.